Hey YouTube, it's time for another video review, and today we're going to be looking at the Age of the Primes Autobot Red Alert from the Armada universe. So we'll take a quick look at the packaging first. Scoot you back a little bit. Here we have the box. So we got some render of his robot mugshot and his vehicle mode. Age of the Primes, Autobot Red Alert, 22 steps. There we got that same mugshot there. Just a couple of the Takara Tomy logo on top and his name. We got that Prime statue artwork there, Voyager class. On the bottom we just got legal jargon, and on the back we got our product shots. So it's kind of hard to tell here, but this is showing his alternate hand because he comes with two different laser cannon hands. There we got his flip out cannon and vehicle and robot mode. And that's pretty much it for the box. And of course we do get our lovely instructions. So there is that. And here we have the figure himself, and we'll take a quick look at him. Some nice painted details there on the front grille. Got these, actually, those might, yeah, I think that's plastic inserts right there for these red headlight turn signals. Headlights are painted yellow. We got a little bit of silver here on the bumper and the grille. Come around here to the legs, we do get some gunmetal gray and some bright red there. Autobot symbol, some more red and plastic insert windows, which is nice. Autobot symbol on the head. He does have a clear red visor. He does have some light piping here. Don't know how well that's going to show up because it's pretty bright out today. So. But yeah, some gray there for the mouth. Got a bit of a stern look. Very RoboCop-esque face sculpt there. And a bunch of translucent red here on the back. And you do get this cannon, and it can flip up in the robot mode. You get some dark blue there on the kneecaps and black for the feet. Now these aren't mentioned in the instructions anywhere for some reason, but he's got some massive heel spurs, and you don't really need to flip them out. They're actually kind of a pain to flip out because he's got some pretty big stompers, so he's pretty stable. But yeah, and while we're on it, he does come with this sort of it feels like it would be like a taser or something. I don't know, but this is what the instruction says is the cannon insert. You do have to plug that in after because it makes it too long to close up. But there is that. And if you really want, you can put it on his arm. They all have the same port size. But then we also get this triple barrel hand cannon. You can sort of see where the barrels are there. And that just plugs in there. And the elbows on mine are incredibly stiff. You can actually sort of hear it. Basically is a ratchet because of how stiff they are. But you also get this one. So there is that. And I think there were rumors that he was supposed to come with an extra hand for this arm. But I think they really just meant that he came with a separate gun for that arm, not an actual hand. But that is what we got now, so it is what it is. And we'll go over the articulation here. Head is, I think, it's on a ball joint. Yeah, it's on a slight ball joint. The side to side isn't much, but you do get, his head is on a hinge, so you do get a good bit of back and forth. These shoulder pieces, shoulder pads are on a hinge because of transformation. You get your 360 bicep swivel. You do get a full 360 at the shoulder. You do get plenty of elbow movement because they are double jointed. So there is that. But again, these are very stiff on my copy. I do believe you get waist rotation, but yeah, you kind of want to move the backpack because it does peg in right here. So it does kind of sit right up against his butt. As far as forward, you get that far forward. And pretty much all the way back, you get plenty out to the side. You do get some up and down at the toe. And you do get his ankle tilt. As far as the knees, you do get 90 degrees. And oh yeah, do get wrist rotation on this arm. And thigh swivel. I think that's about it for that. But we'll go ahead and switch this just to show what that looks like briefly. And I'm surprised I don't feel more nostalgic for this figure because I remember getting the original back in the day, actually on a road trip through California with my family. But I don't remember anything else about the original figure aside from that, the fact that I did have it. But yeah, overall this is a decent enough figure. But yeah. Oh, and this gun does detach, so if you want, you can take it off and put it in his hand, and he can have a blaster rifle if you want. And of course, these things are blast compatible. So here we can, and that one's a little bit too wide. Get some blast effects there and there. So yeah, can get some Daka action going. My mouth's all dry for some reason. Anyway, just pop that back on, straighten it out, and fold it away. Alright, and I guess we should do a couple size comparisons. Here he is next to Devastation Optimus. So you can see he's much bulkier as a Voyager. And here he is next to Deluxe Jawbreaker. And I should have brought the Armada Optimus, and I totally forgot to do that. But yeah, that should at least give you an idea of how big he is. Now, he does have accessory storage, which we're going to go over before we hit transformation, because it's best to do this in his robot mode. So both of the red cannon pieces store in the back of his legs. So you want the cannon tip facing up, and they just sort of squeeze in here. This might be the wrong side. I do think they are sort of... Oh, no. There it goes. Like that. And then the other one just goes on the other side, like so. And then for this piece, you come up here to the backpack, and there's a little round peg on a bit of a elongated ridge piece right here. You can sort of see the peg. And that peg is going to go right here in the middle where that circular gap is. And there's this sort of box here that's going to go over the post. So if I can get this just like that. So there you have your robot / vehicle storage. Anyway, we'll move on to transformation now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate the arms. I believe we want it, is it this? Yeah. We want it so that the elbow is facing down from the door, and you're going to peg this tab into where the mushroom peg is, like so. And then you're going to fold those really tight elbows in, like so. And then we're going to do the same on the other side, rinse and repeat, like so. And then we're going to push his head back a little bit and lift this panel up. And you're going to want to get in there and flip this piece up, and then unpeg that back part, and then you're going to fold the head into the hood like so. And you can just close that up. Just lift this back up. Then the legs are going to come back. One thing I forgot to mention, these do actually rotate. There's no reason for it, it seems. I feel like they probably just didn't feel like making an extra peg to keep it in place because it wasn't really necessary. But yeah, they do move. Anyway, flip in the heels, and then we're going to fold those feet forward like so. And then at his shin, you can see where this hinge is. You're going to break his leg and fold that up and around. Rinse and repeat. And you're going to bring these together, and then we're going to fold this panel out, and we're going to rotate these. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, you want to fold the legs up first, but you don't want to lock them all the way in. And you're going to bring these arms in. Okay, yeah. There we go. And you bring arms in and just tab those in. Actually, yeah, you do want to leave the legs out of the way because I want to show this. But yeah, you bring this in, and then the arms do actually tab together. And you just sort of squeeze them together, and they'll sit flush against the sides once you do. But yeah, you don't actually need to leave the legs out of the way for that. I just want to make sure to show it. And then we just kind of finagle these in and get them tabbed in to this back panel here. Come on. Come in. And yeah, these little tabs here do like to catch on the doors. There we go. Yeah, just be aware of that. And then, yep, just everything squozen together, and there we have Red Alert in his rescue vehicle mode. I'm not really sure if I should call this an ambulance or not. But yeah, and it looks all nice and stuff, and it's a very sturdy vehicle mode. Everything tabs in very solidly, which is always nice. And as far as rolling, he rolls very well. Got those nice pegged in wheels. And again, you can deploy the gun in the vehicle mode if you so choose. And he does have some extra blast ports that are technically available in the vehicle mode, but yeah, there's that. And then there's this one up here. And these are also on the other side. There is, I believe this is supposed to be his original Minicon port here on the top. Of course, he doesn't come with a Minicon or a Minicon gimmick anymore. Well, I believe this was the gimmick, so. But, yeah. Other than that, not really anything too new, aside from how it's all arranged. He does kind of wear most of his vehicle mode on his back and whatnot. So there's not really any new details to show off. It's just sort of rearranged to look more vehicle-ish. But not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it comes together very solidly, and he is accurate to how he was supposed to look. So yeah. And we'll do a couple of quick size comparisons. Here we have the APC Viacon. Here we have the recent, well, not so recent, Voyager Gamer Edition Starscream, who is actually quite a bit bigger. But there are some comparisons for you. And yeah, overall, I can't say I'm like super wowed with this figure or anything, but he doesn't really do anything wrong. The only real issue I have, and it's kind of a nitpick, is those elbows are just really, really tight. Maybe there's a way to loosen them up, you know, maybe to loosen the screw, or you know, add a little bit of silicone gel or whatever it is, lubricant. But honestly, it's not. It's sort of a non-issue, really. There's no real major complaints I have with this guy. So yeah, and again, he feels very sturdy as I throw him around. Rah! And rolls nicely there, and there's really nothing he does wrong. So yeah, I think my lack of wow factor is just I don't remember anything about this character anymore. Need to go back and watch the show again sometime. But yeah, overall I think the figure's very solid. Honestly, if I'm being objective, I think he deserves a 10. I do think he deserves a 10. You know, he's accurate to the design as far as I remember. You know, the way he's designed feels very sturdy. You know, the clear plastic for the most part isn't any important joints. You know, he still comes with his cannon gimmick. He comes with an extra hand. The storage is great. Everything, you know, stores in the back here very snugly. So I don't feel any worry about that. Nothing feels too tight that it's going to break. And nothing feels super loose either. So yeah, I really don't have any serious complaints. I think he deserves a 10 if I'm being totally objective. So yeah. Yeah, if you like this character, definitely pick him up. And if you just kind of want a solid toy, pick this guy up. You know, he probably would, you know, survive childrening. That's going to be my new term, childrening. Yeah, he's sturdy. So you could you could probably let a kid play with this, and he would probably survive for at least a good while. So yeah, not much else to say on this one. Definitely recommend. So yeah, I think that's about it for this review of the Age of the Primes Armada Red Alert, and this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.